This week on Learn.Think.Act, I do not know if I'm going to go to the whiteboard, but we'll still have it in the background. I want to talk about accountability. What does it mean to be accountable? Well, let's talk about what it means to account for. I'm going to go to the Oxford Languages Dictionary. Account, a report or description of an event or an experience. A record or statement of financial expenditure, receipts relating to a particular period or purpose. So, when we account for something, we keep a record of it. Did you do what you said you were going to do? Are you accountable to doing the thing that you said you are going to do? Did you actually hold yourself accountable to doing it? Do you hold your people accountable to doing it? Do your people hold themselves accountable to do it? Are you accountable to your attitudes, your beliefs, your actions? Let's get into accountability. How do we build accountability? How do we get better at accountability? Well, let's start first with a couple of mistakes. One of the mistakes that I think a lot of people make, especially when talking about things like an accountability partner, is you think that the accountability partner might do the work for you or even guide you on what work needs to be done. That is not an accountability partner. That's a coach. That's a very different person. Now, can your coach hold you accountable? Absolutely. Your coach can hold you accountable. But your accountability partner is not necessarily your coach. It's a very different thing. So let's talk about some accountability partners that exist out there, some accountability partners that I use. And actually, I said I wasn't going to go to the whiteboard, but here we go. Let's use the checklist as an accountability partner. Imagine if I've got a couple of different checkboxes, to-dos that I have to get done. Walk, 10,000 steps, move, lift weights, strength, fuel properly, feed the dog. I can use a checklist like this to hold myself accountable to achieving the result. If I go in there and I take that checklist and I fill it in the box for each of the things that I did, now I know I've got this thing that I can use to hold me accountable. It can be my accountability partner. A tool can be an accountability partner. If I miss on something, fuel, I then know that I've got a pretty big gap relative to what I said I was going to do. And I can choose to go out there and do the work or not do the work. I use checklists like this, and I'll include a couple of examples to help hold me accountable to decisions that I'm making throughout the day, specifically around business, around money, around family, around movement, around fuel, and around recovery. Those are a couple of the decisions that I'm staying focused on to help me get into both the physical, financial, and relationship status or strength or condition that I want to be in. I use checklists for accountability. I also share goals and objectives, share the things that we're working on with Jen. We're working through our 2-week sprints. So 6 2-week sprints to make up the entire quarter, 26 2-week sprints to make up the entire year. Well, it's really 4 quarters for the year, 6 2-week sprints inside each of those quarters. And by sharing that, what our objectives are for the sprint, the specific tasks that we're going to work on in the sprint, we can hold ourselves accountable to getting the work done. Now, when we go out there and do the work, here's the other thing that's really kind of cool about using checklists and using data. If you go out there and you do the work and you're not making progress toward your goal or objective, like we had talked about last week in the game plan, then you now have the perspective, the information you need, the data you need to actually fire the work. Too often, especially at the beginning of the year, we get ourselves into this routine where we want to do things over and over and over again because we said that's what we were going to do. Here's the problem. If you're doing things and you're not getting the results you want, you're starting to move into that mode of insanity. Doing the same things and expecting different results, I think, is the definition of insanity, or so they say. Use data, have our checklist, have our accountability partners out there to help hold us accountable to getting the work done, and use the information to hold the work accountable to working. It's a very abbreviated Learn, Think, Act this week. When it comes to accountability, you are accountable to yourself. You are accountable to others. You are accountable to your team. You are accountable to the work that you've committed to. So get out there and hold yourself accountable to doing it. If you know somebody who would find value in this video, please share it with them. Let's accelerate speed to impact. Learn, think, act. Thank you.